All right, what's up, guys? It's Anthony from AB Fitness Center here. I got another awesome client transformation video for you guys today. Today we have on again another one of our most successful clients, Frank. Okay, so Frank is down 34 pounds. But the unique thing about Frank is down 5% body fat, gained a ton of muscle, is down 19 inches since the beginning. So it's really, really cool. But the cool thing about Frank is he actually set a goal. And, not many people, when they walk in the gym, they don't really set like a concrete goal like this. But his goal was to get below 190 before his birthday. And he accomplished it ahead of time, actually. So, Frank, welcome on the show, man.
Hey,
It's nice
thank
having
you.
you here, buddy.
Love to be with you today. Thank you for helping me through this to be a success story, but excited to share with everybody what's going on in my life.
Well, the reason why we always do this stuff is because I want you, because your story is every person's story is always unique. But the goal of these is to always inspire someone who may be listening to this, who may be just like you, to finally say, okay, I've had enough. I'm going to do something about it. So Frank, let's hear your story from you. So where were you before? Let's talk about the before, and let's talk about how you found us.
So I think I've always had a battle with weight. So it's always an up and down. I've gone down really low before, and I've successfully had good diets and exercise. But it got to a point when we had our second child with my wife, and everything just went wackadoo because things that you want to try to control, it's hard to control, and you just grab whatever is the easiest. And so you fastest, easiest, and then whatever fills you up. So I kept on gaining weight and not knowing that I was gaining a lot of weight. I mean, I hear chatters, but then all of a sudden I step on the scale one day. I was at my all-time high at 226. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is not good. So actually maybe a couple of weeks before joining AB Fitness, I decided to just, do my own diet. And so I lost 6 pounds. So when I was at your place, I was like 220. And so my wife also felt the same way. We came back from vacation, all inclusive, all you can eat, and everything that I ate, everything in sight. And so we came back and we were like, no, I don't think we should live like this. This is a little too crazy. She felt like she was unhealthy. I felt like I was unhealthy. So she kind of pushed me to go join the gym. And I was like, well, I never heard you say you want to join the gym before. So I guess I will entertain the thought. And I was like, okay, sure, let's go.
Yeah, and that's funny because your wife actually called me. So I remember getting that call, and she's like, yeah, but we can't start now. We got to start in like 2 weeks because we're going on vacation, and it's an all-inclusive vacation. And I'm like, oh boy, I see where this is going. But you and your wife are just such phenomenal people, man. So I'm just so happy when people always accomplish their goals. So now, where'd you get the idea for this goal, and how long after did you set this goal? Like, to talk about that. So now, okay, you met us. Now you're 226. You're at your heaviest.
So I think my wife says, oh, it's probably going to be like a miracle when you get down like 190, right? So I was like, okay, I have that like.
Gotta love wives, man. They know how to really make you happy.
So I was like, okay, well I don't want to make, because I know I don't want to make a goal that I can't achieve. And I didn't want to make a goal that was so easy, because I've done 10 pounds before, and I never gone down to the threshold of like 190. So I was like, okay, well, that seems like a good challenge for me. So I said, well, my birthday next year, before I turn 40, I want to be below what I haven't been in such a long time. And so 189 was like a number that I just go, okay, now, I mean, I'll go with 189 for now. So let me see if I could achieve it. And at the same time, I'm just trying to think through, okay, how are these trainers going to help me? And so I was just, if it works, that's the most awesome thing that happens. So why not give it a try? And so 189 was the number. I think a little push from my wife. But yeah, that's how that number came about.
Frank the Tank. That's what we call him. Frank the Tank, because this guy is unbelievable. He works out so hard every time. So now you set this goal, right? And you're like, all right, now I make these meathead trainers in the gym, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, right? So what's the next step? So you sit with us, you get the plan. Talk about the experience. What happens next?
I think the first 2 weeks, I think it was like really tough because I think it's getting my muscle and getting my mindset going. Okay, what do I need to eat now? And reading through your packet and your procedures, things what you should eat, things you shouldn't eat, and it was a little overwhelming at first. Um, so for the first month, I try to do things, and sometimes I do it wrong. And so I go, oh no, we shouldn't have done that. I should have been sending my meal plan. I haven't been sending my meal plan. And so it's like a touch and go at that moment in the first month. But then after the first month, after it kind of settles down, gradually you kind of understand what are some of the key things you should do. So exercise is important. Don't miss your sessions, because once you miss a session, when you come back, it becomes much harder. Uh, and food wise, you have to be really prepared. I just thought, in my mind, I just thought it's going to be a lot more work for me, because then I have to do meal prep, because I've done weight loss before. So I was like, oh, the meal prep is crazy because all the kids eat differently. My wife eat differently. I eat differently. Does that mean I have to cook like 3 meals, 3 different kind of meal for 3 different group of people? So those were my biggest fear. But later on, I kind of figure out how to integrate all those things together, which made it much easier for me. So the first 2 weeks, I think I remember Anthony and Laura and Pete was saying, "Oh yeah, SOAR is really necessary, and you'll be surprised. When you're sore, you should exercise more." I was like, "What? I can't move at all, and you want me to move? You want me to exercise more?" So I was like, I was in for a shock. I was like, "Oh man, I don't know how I could do it." But after the two weeks, you guys were right. I mean, the soreness was in there. I felt a lot stronger. I think the stronger, what I felt was the healthy aspect of eating cleaner, and then I feel the difference. I don't feel as uh, slow. During that time, I think I was feeling really tired all the time. But after working out, I felt like there's a rush of energy, and that helped me kept going. And obviously, then when the number drops, it goes, oh, okay, it's working, and and I'm going.
I know that's awesome. So when did you touch success? Like when did you finally like look at the scale or whatever and you're like, oh shit, this isn't working?
I think um I think it's when we did the first 3 months measurement, then I think I dropped a lot. I don't remember how much I dropped. I think I dropped more than 10 pounds. And I was like, okay, this is going on the right direction. I see my waist. I think every single part of my body went down in inches. Um, so I was like, oh, this is definitely different. And I felt stronger. Um, Before, when I was walking up and down the stairs, I would be panting. And now I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to find the furthest parking spot I could do, and I'll walk, because those are the extra
That's what
exercise.
Frank the Tank does. That's what Frank the Tank does.
So I was like, okay, I'll choose to do during work, during my lunchtime. What I would also do is, well, I'll walk around the block to get my 10,000 steps in. So I read slowly and surely. I read through your whole packet. You should do extra exercises for a little cardio somewhere, but don't go nuts on the cardio. So I just walked around, and then so it helped me to kind of relax a little bit. But also I felt like, wow, this is getting easier when I was walking, and so that was really surprising at first. I mean, I knew that if I'm getting healthier, I should be able to do this easier, but it just it didn't hit me all at one time. So, and I thought it was healthy for me because it was so gradual. it wasn't like a crash. I lost 10 pounds in a week or two, which I've done before too. But then this one was like very gradual. It was like very, it felt like it was pacing in a right scale, or great interval. So it was good.
Yeah, your weight loss has definitely been consistent, and that's the most important thing. And you've had a lot of hiccups along the way too, which we'll talk about. But so one of the things I want to bring up to you, and I think this is the most phenomenal part of it. So now Frank's telling you guys a story about how he felt, like, he was so out of shape, whatever. So here comes Frank. And I always push the envelope to everybody. I always want everybody to push themselves to the next level. So I'm like, I think as a gym, we should all do a Spartan race. I think that's a really good idea. So in walks Frank to the gym one day, and I'm like, Frank the Tank, I got a challenge for you. So Frank did the Spartan race with us, did phenomenal. I mean, I'm so proud of everybody who went, but you stood out because you are such a hard worker, man. When you're in the gym, you work so hard. And I love to see that. That's like, it motivates me. But you did the Spartan race, you completed it. So let's talk about the Spartan race, man. I mean, that's like a huge thing. So here's this, like, again, here's these dumb meatheads. And they're like, hey, man, you should come do a Spartan race with us. Talk about that. Because I'm sure the old you wouldn't have been able to even think about doing that.
I think initially when you brought it up, I was like, nah, that's too crazy for me. Because I didn't even really think that I was going to. I don't think I could have accomplished it because I felt like cardio-wise, I wasn't there. And I knew my knee hurts a lot because I'm still heavy. And I had injuries before that I knew that I didn't want to like go too crazy on the runs. And so, I think you guys asked for a long time. I think for 3 weeks you asked. And I think you asked my wife too. So again, my wife.
Yeah, I did. She didn't do it though. I thought I was going to convince her to do it with us, but she didn't end up doing it. She came along the whole path anyway. But
she was a big driving force for me to do it. She's like, man, what's the chance that you're gonna do a Spartan race and then you're gonna regret it? I was like, all right, fine. I think it was the last day. I think it was the last day of registration for us.
Yeah, it was.
And then I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I looked at the price. I was like, oh man, this is so crazy. You're going to torture myself and I have to pay this price. But I was like, all right, let me just do it. It'll be a good bonding time with the entire group. And it will be like a good challenge for me. So if I can't do it, I'll just skip. And so my wife said, okay, you're doing it. And she's like, we're going to go cheer you on. And it was actually one of the best experience I ever had, just bonding with the group of people I know that that was trying to get healthy at the same time with me. And we were trekking through this whatever together, even though it wasn't the easiest. I think we tried our hardest to do every single thing, but it was that feeling like we kind of overcame some of the obstacles collectively and not just by myself. Really reminded me what a great family that we have together here. Even though I don't know too many of the people well, it just seems like everybody was cheering each other on. So it's really how much you want to put into it, right? So I was like, okay, let me put in some time to get to know everybody, and that was the goal. And I hopefully I don't kill myself.
Far from that, man. You finished well ahead of everybody else. You did such a good job. I'm still proud of you for that.
Well, it was tough, but I was like, oh, and a part of me also thought some of the stuff that we've been doing, like some of the deadlifts and a lot of the weights that we were doing, it really helped us to do some of the obstacles. And I was like, wow, I was really surprised I was able to do that. One of the big stone one, I think was like an 80-pound stone. I didn't think I could do it, but I did it. So it was really cool. That was cool.
You Frank the Tank that stone, man. You just heaved it up and just tossed it. But I want to cycle back to something else that you mentioned, and I think it's a good point because you're a parent just like me, and a lot of people struggle with this. You mentioned the kids and meal prepping and getting everything prepared. So nutrition-wise, How did that kind of balance out for you? You know, you said like you kind of just eventually it all like kind of worked itself out, but like, you know, it's hard with the kids, with
Yeah.
a wife and just family and life and working and all this stuff. How were you able to balance everything?
I think for the food itself, I know after maybe 2 months, I know what's the portion I could eat. So I would normally just put it in my bowl, whatever portion it is, that I know that it will be the calorie count for myself. And then so I would just leave it. And then after I finish that bowl, I won't put any more onto my plate. And I try not to like, you guys say this all the time, to don't don't cut out things you love. So even though I love pizza, and so I would eat pizza, but then if I eat the pizza one day, I know the next day I will have to eat less. So that's how I portion myself. And for my family, I would cook a lot more carbs for the kids, but I would try not to eat those carbs. But protein definitely will. There's always a protein on the table for everybody, so we'll load up on that most likely. And then that's how I normally do it.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I mean, and it's good. Again, it's just about finding what kind of works for you. And a lot of people think that there's like this magical formula. And hopefully, listening to all these client interviews I've been doing, you'll see that every person's different. You have to kind of find what works for you in that sense. And like you said, you know, you always make sure that there's certain things there. There's always a protein there. You know, there's always, you know, this or that. And you always kind of, you know, finagling things to make it work. But you've successfully made it work. So let's talk about this part, Frank. You just turned 40. How do you feel now at 40 versus being in your 30s?
So, I think I joke with my wife. Now I have to check a different box now every single time I fill out a form, because now I'm 40. So this is by far the best I felt in a long time. So even when we first got married 6 years ago now, I wasn't this healthy. Even though I think I still have a long way to go, I really want to get to see less fat, my percentage of body fat to drop. I never felt there's this clarity. I don't know if it's hard to describe. I know that when I've been exercising, I think clear, and I can multitask a lot better. Before, I could tell you that it was a drag doing things, even just doing work, even thinking through things. It was just a drag. But I feel much more clear-headed. And
Do you feel younger now?
yeah, I mean, I never felt old, but my body is
You're still
telling me
young.
I'm old.
Yeah.
My body is, I think when I was packing those weight, I think it really made me slower. And that was also another thing that I want to make sure that I could play with my kids, and they're so active. And if I can't even keep up with them, well, what can I really do? So yeah, I think this is probably this. I think it's not just my weight, but I really feel like it's an overall. I feel like the muscle mass is there. I feel much stronger. I feel that I have a lot more energy. I think that's the biggest difference. The energy level is much higher.
Right. You know, we just recently have taken your updated pictures, and I posted your side by side online, and people literally were commenting, he's half the guy he was. And you don't realize that, you know, you only lost 5% body fat. But when it's 5% of pure body fat, that's a lot. And that's a lot of like fat tissue that's like on your organs, and like, and you carry it in your middle. That's where you carry it. So like that whole spot is gone. And, you know, the reason why you feel so healthy is because, you know, we store that on the inside, and you have all your organs there. So that there's a lot less space there. So you literally are half the person you were before. So this is just the beginning of your journey, Frank. And it's really nice to see that, but it was good to get an insight, you know, and hear you talking about where you were before, because a lot of people start out worse than where you were. So if you could do it, they could definitely do it.
Yeah.
So what would be, go ahead.
I think one of the biggest thing I really appreciate is Pete, Laura, and you. really just helping us to achieve what's really realistic for us. I think it helps me to understand that, okay, these are things that it's achievable. And so when you see it, and I think I'm also a rebel. Sometimes I don't want to follow through exactly what everything. And so
Frank the Tank.
when you see some of the stuff that when you say something and then it doesn't work, and then when you try what you guys are doing and it works, then you go, okay, should have done it earlier. So I think that's one of the things. You guys know what you're talking about. It's just really hard for us to get into that cycle of thinking.
Yeah, of course, it's not easy. Well, Frank, what's your best memory with us? You've been with us for a little bit now. What's your best memory?
I think there's a lot. I really feel like you guys are a part of my extended family, and really excited to. You guys actually were part of the video that my wife did for my 40th, and it really feels like a family. And all the things that we've been doing, I think you guys really care throughout the whole process. And so, I mean, the exercise is great. I think it's just the little things that you guys do. You guys show us that, hey, we're here for you. And even during this pandemic, I really felt like, wow, you guys are gonna go to the length for us. When the first couple of weeks has started, and then we're gonna do you guys are gonna do it every single day. And I was just like, oh man, okay. Feel bad if I don't join.
That's good. That's the goal. Guilt you to do it, man. That's the trick. That's the trick right there. Now, Frank, like I said, Frank the Tank, that nickname has stuck with you because, like I said, you're a tank, and we're gonna make you into more of a tank. So, awesome. So, what advice would you give someone listening to this right now who's in your shoes, just about to turn 40, ready to get started, and they're like, I don't know. What advice would you give someone just starting out?
I think for myself, I never put a lot of stuff in for myself. So I think this is probably one of the best investment wise that I've done. So this, initially there's a lot of skeptical heart or my mind thinking whether or not this will work. But you also have to put in the work. And so when you put in the work, you will definitely see it. And so best advice I would give someone, I think you should give yourself a shot, because this will definitely change your life. I think for the last half a year, we've been talking, my wife and I, this has been the best decision of our life. This is the best decision, best money spent. Even we think that, it could be spent somewhere else, but this really literally like changes our health. And so those are the things that I think, you got to give it yourself a shot. Because I know at that moment, there's no one pushing me. I had a gym membership that my wife says I never go to, and I just pay monthly, and I say, okay, fine. If I don't go to that, why don't I just go and try something that, that I'll have to do. And it stuck with me, and it feels bad. It feels weird when you're not exercising.
Awesome. And what would be your number one tip for success? So someone listening to this, they want advice. What's your number one tip to help them get and achieve 34 pounds down of pure body fat?
I think one of the biggest thing I did is really using that fitness app, the myfitnesspal app. Initially, it was really difficult to enter everything, but after a while,
learning curve.
After a while, you kind of know what portion you can't eat, or what portion you should eat, and after maybe 3 months, it's kind of very intuitive. Even if you don't enter it, okay, this is how much I need to eat, and this is how much I should eat. And so that has been very helpful. and I actually got to wait, to weigh food. Uh, so after a while, you weigh a couple of things, you kind of know, oh wow, I over I overeat a lot.
Yeah, I was telling somebody else this story too. It's like I sit with someone initially, and then we always run through their nutrition. And I'll never forget this woman was sitting there telling me like, "Hey, Anthony, I don't understand. I should be losing weight. I only eat 900 calories a day." So okay, well, what do you eat in a day? And we tallied it up, and it was like 3,000 calories in a day. So it's like, yeah, I agree with your tip 100%. Knowing what a food is, what a portion size is, and how many calories it is goes a long way into letting you understand anything about nutrition. Period.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the biggest thing that helped me. Um, and even now, I think for me, even now, like uh, I don't have to enter it, and I kind of know, because after a while you kind of know. But when you do enter it, you give yourself no room for wiggle,
Right. Right.
so that you put it in and you go, okay, this is it. I mean, can't eat anything for the rest of the day if you want to meet the goal. I mean, if you go over it. So one of the other things, I think, I don't like beat myself up if I go over.
Yeah, that's key. That's key.
And so I just go, well, tomorrow I'll set a new goal to lower the calorie. So I do a weekly, because we have to send you a weekly plan. So
Mm-hmm.
I set myself a weekly thing, so I don't beat myself up and say, oh, I failed. And so I'll just go, okay, today I eat a little more, so tomorrow I'll eat a little less.
So, Frank, we're always pushing the envelope, right? That's the goal. The whole purpose in life is to continue to keep moving up
Yeah.
and not going backwards, right? So, you set this huge goal, okay? By 40, you wanted to be below 190, right? That was the goal.
Yeah.
Now you hit it. So now you set the bar. So
Yeah.
what's next, Frank? What's the next goal? We're gonna document your next goal on this video right now, and then we're gonna do a follow-up one. So what's the next goal for you, Frank? We're setting it live right here, so everybody listening to this you're held accountable by the thousands of views this video is gonna get. All right. So what's the next goal?
I think well, now I feel like my goal is it was a lot lower, but then I want to change it a little bit. I told my wife right after I hit it 189, maybe a month ago, I said I'm gonna set another goal, 183.
Okay.
But I think today, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set it to 179. But my goal is to lose body fat. Uh,
Right.
I don't think the weight. I think the weight will come down by itself.
Yeah.
But I think I want to set the body fat to be lower. I want to be in a healthier range of body fat, even though I think I'm 24 or something, but I think I'm not satisfied with that. I think I would like to be in the teens.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Awesome.
I'm in the teens, I'm good. 19 is a good.
All right, guys.
19.
So listen, everybody listening to this right now, okay? Frank, we always set SMART goals. So we're calling them SMART. So they're specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, they're realistic, and they're timely. So we gotta drill it down here. So we're gonna be 179 at 19% body fat, right?
Okay.
When?
End of the year.
End of the year,
Yeah.
December. Love it.
December.
December what?
Another 6 months. Last day of December.
December.
Last day, December 31st.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So, guys, listening to this, I want you all, especially if you're clients, you got to message Frank in the group. We're going to put it up. We're going to put it up in the group. Frank set a new goal. You got to make sure that he hits it. So, we want to check back December 31st. Is he there?
I would love to be there. I want to be there. I'm going to be there.
Yes, I love it, man. I love it. Well, Frank the Tank, listen, thank you so much for coming on, man. We really, really appreciate it. And like I said, your story is just going to, enhance someone else who's just starting out in the same shoes you are. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Anthony. We love you, and we support you all the way. Let us know. And so if you wanted to know more, ask them. They're very knowledgeable. And so the best trainer you'll ever get.
Thank you, buddy.
All right.
All right, man. That was